Oh, hey there. How are you today? I don't know about you, but sometimes I need a little calm in my life. I can be a little bit too distracted and lose some of my productivity when I lose focus and get overwhelmed. So I figured, because I'm in the middle of that right now as I do a new course, why not talk about it today? Some of the tricks that I use to keep myself calm and focused. So I'm going to let you know a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes here at Spark Organizing and in the Suzanna Kaye offices. First off, we are hiring some new organizers for Orlando, so if you know anybody who is a spectacular organizer with a huge heart and they are interested in working with us, now is the time. Have them email us. Our website tells more. But even more exciting news, I'm also working on a new course. Now, I will let you know, it always terrifies me to let people know when I'm working on something before it's actually done, because that then commits me to getting it out to you on time, and it also adds pressure. It has to be good, or else I will be worried about putting out subpar content. These are some things that I stress about all the time. Not to mention, if you know the Four Tendencies book by Gretchen Rubin, I'm a rebel. So the second I say I'm going to do something, that's the best way to make me not want to do it. But I'm fighting against my natural tendencies. I am telling you all now that I'm working on a course about ADHD and productivity and how to be successful in school. So if you either have a school-aged child, you are a school-aged person, or have gone back to school and are struggling with productivity, or even if you're just in the workplace and want to learn some really good techniques because they do translate to the workplace, this course will be launched at the end of July. Girl Scout Honor. Was the Girl Scouts 2 or 3? Anybody who remembers, let me know. I always get it wrong. The Boy Scouts are 1. The Girl Scouts are the other. But I do promise, end of July, I'm putting it out there despite my fears about letting people know what's going on behind the scenes, especially because I want to share some of the things within the course and that can help you if you are struggling with focus and struggling with procrastination and overwhelm and high expectations, all these great things that come along with ADD and ADHD. I want to talk about a few of them today. So, come join me as we talk about all of the 3 favorite tips that I'm using in my workplace right now to stay on track and calm. Now, I don't know about you, but are you ADHD or ADD? Do you know anybody in your life who is? I'd love to hear in the comments if you just let me know if you have any experience with it, or if sometimes you feel like you are, but you might not be diagnosed, which I'm pretty much that case. So welcome to Spark. If you don't already know me, I'm Suzanna Kaye. I am the owner of Spark Organizing. I've been an organizer for over 10 years. I think it's like 12 now or something. And I just love sharing organization and productivity tips with everybody. I also love learning new things, and I admit to a new addiction. I have a new iPhone app game called Dungeons Inc. Totally addicted to. Those are the things going on in my life right now that I love. I'm also the creator of the 365 Project. If you haven't checked it out, stop by my365project.com. And I'm glad that you joined me today. Before we get started, I wanted to do our shout outs for the week. We have some new YouTube subscribers who I'm glad to welcome to the group. We have Ashley, Jan, Edwinice, I hope I said that right, and Kim, and of course thank you all for the likes on the videos this week. I saw a number of people like videos, and it's always really helpful and keeps me going. So keep it up. I like your likes. I know, I'm goofy. It's who I am. So I told you how I'm writing a course on ADHD and school success. This really focuses a lot on productivity techniques, and it's explained in a way of how to apply it in a study environment. So this course is, it's definitely challenging me. I'm learning a lot about myself and the parts of me that are quite ADD. I'm not so much ADHD, I'm more of the ADD side. I am prone to daydreaming and lack of focus and all the good stuff that comes with it. And I've got a lot of struggles when it comes to this. I did not even realize though until I started to organize this course how much I've incorporated of my ADHD training into how I organize other people. Because whether you have that or not, a lot of us suffer from lack of focus and overwhelm and procrastination with or without ADD and ADHD. And a lot of these tips work both for ADHD and for those who are not affected. Now, if you do have ADD or ADHD, that is an actual difference in your brain. Your brain does not work in exactly the same way, so we work with what we've got, right? These are some of the tips that I use to get past that struggle of the brain just not firing in the way that a neurotypical brain does. So a lot of times we find all of these tips and techniques that everybody talks about for productivity, and if you're an ADHD brain, it's not working for you, and then you just feel like a failure. You feel lazy, you feel stupid, and it's not the case. It's simply that you're using the wrong tool for the job. So as I've been learning a lot about myself and realizing how many of these techniques I've actually incorporated into my own workday, I wanted to share some of them with you. These are some of the techniques that I will also teach in the course to a certain degree, but the first one is more general. This is for projects. As I'm writing this course, it's really easy for me to lose track of the topic and the focus and to start adding too much in. Adding in things that are either not related or that I find really interesting but might not be exactly on topic. So I can start on one topic within the course, but then as I write and as I brainstorm, I start to add in things that have nothing to do with where I started. They might be interesting, they might be helpful, but they have nothing to do with what I'm supposed to be on task for at the time. So one of my favorite things to do, especially when I'm designing a course or managing a project with several moving pieces, I need a system that the pieces can move as I brainstorm, but I can make sure that I see the overall picture. I can get very focused on just the details and the minutia and not see the forest for the trees. So here is my course project board. This right here is all just post-it notes, and I have the different chapters and the chapter titles, and I have a post-it note for each topic within the chapter. So I make sure that I cover everything that I want to cover and that other excess items don't sneak in to the wrong area, or that should not even be in the course really, because it might be for more office productivity or general productivity instead. The nice thing about this is though, as I'm brainstorming, I can move things around until they fit the way that I feel like they need to. So if I were to decide that it makes more sense to go in that order, then I can just flip it around quickly. I can also just quickly change out a post-it. If I decide that I wanted to completely change a category because it's just not fitting how I wanted, there's something else more important, then I can just take off the post-it and put on a new post-it. Now this is my overall, this is the forest of my project. This is the entire overview of the flow of it, and it helps me to visualize, because a lot of times when I can't see something concrete, I have a really hard time picturing all of the parts and how it's organized. So, and you can see probably up close a few of the things, a little sneak peek at what might be in the course. And of course, as this is ever-changing and fluid as I'm writing it, some of these things may adjust. But that's my project board, and it really keeps me focused because I can see as I'm writing a chapter, I can look at that post-it. I actually sometimes take the post-it and I stick it to my laptop, and I can make sure that what I'm writing about is on topic. And if it's not on topic, then I dump it on another Word document to see if it fits somewhere else. But it's not relevant to what I'm supposed to focus on right now. And hi Mary, I see you Mary. And Ruth says, it just went away. You have 2 idea boards, one for a book she's reading to help her learn. idea boards are so helpful because they do help give us a tangible visual representation of the concept that we're working on. So if you're working on a project and you have a lot of moving parts, or if you're just brainstorming, I really love the project board. And it's just some of that foam board from the dollar store. Super easy. Hi Anselm, good to see you. It's been a little bit. Glad to have you back. All right, the other thing that I do, the second ADD tip that I have is actually for kids. And it's something that I just tried on a whim recently because I saw it and I thought this might help some of the issues that I'm having, especially as I'm doing the 365 project and the ADHD course. I have a lot going on and sometimes I start to feel a lot of pressure. There's anxiety, there's overwhelm, and I start to procrastinate because it seems really massive. It seems like either I don't know how I'm going to get it all done because I'm looking at the whole project as a whole as something huge instead of the little steps that I have to take along the way. Or I simply feel like I'm out of ideas. My brain is blank, and writer's block is not even a good description. Like, it's beyond that. It's writer's crushing steamroller, not happening anytime soon. So in order to get past this, I tried a trick that I've seen for little kids with ADD and ADHD. And it is beautiful. It's called a glitter bottle or a calming bottle. And what it is, it's just a bottle with glitter in it that slowly moves. Now this is a way to get my brain to slow down. I shake it up and I simply watch the glitter as it moves around in the bottle. I get to watch these little bubbles that go up through the glitter. And it makes everything seem a little bit less overwhelming. And this is what it does for a little kid too. It's simply like a meditation, but a meditation without having to sit there in silence with your eyes closed, which can be very intimidating. It's a meditation of just watch the glitter. This allows me to calm myself down. It releases the writer's block because as my brain relaxes into watching this, it starts to open up again. It stops thinking about the fears and the worries, and it starts to open up to more creative ideas. So as I'm watching, my brain is relaxing and opening, and those creative ideas come. It also helps me to get started on a project. When things are just simply overwhelming and they seem too big, this is again allows me to let go of the thoughts that are holding me back that make it seem so big and open up my brain so I can think, what is the one next step? What one little thing can I do next? And by calming my brain, my whole body relaxes, my creativity gets opened up, so I write better, I perform better, and I overcome some of that procrastination. Love glitter bottles, even though they're for kids. If you do suffer from any type of anxiety or overwhelm, writer's block, procrastination, or you just want to meditate without being bored out of your mind, then this is great. I've started to actually use it each day as a meditation also. And before I started my video, I've started to look at the glitter bottle so I don't start off at 5,000 miles an hour. Only 4,562. Now the glitter bottle, there's some YouTube how-tos of how to make it. I used the how-to found on, what's it called? I'll think of it in a minute. But it's basically clear Elmer's glue and a little bit of glitter glue in hot water and glitter. And that's it. And you just keep adjusting how much glue versus water you put in until it's moving at a speed that you want. That's right, this one is from the YouTube channel called How to ADHD. If you haven't seen it, the girl is awesome. She's hilarious and sweet, and you just want to watch her all day. So, calming glitter bottle, absolutely a great way to relieve that anxiety and open up your creativity. And ADHDers, you have no problem with having creativity, but sometimes accessing it when you're overly stressed out and overwhelmed can be difficult. Since it is one of your superpowers and it's the most amazing thing to have with the amount of creativity that you have, being able to access that and open it up is essential. And yes, the bottle is quite mesmerizing, and some I could just watch it for hours. It's just nice. I quite frankly, forget this. I'm done with the live. You could just watch me watch the bottle, because that's what I want to do now. I'll just watch it all day. So the glitter bottle, step number 2. And then number 3, and my assistant knows this really well, Ruth sees this frequently, is taking breaks. Again, it's the same thing. It's conquering the overwhelm, releasing the anxiety, refocusing. A lot of times when we're trying to focus too long on something, or if we get into hyperfocus, which is where you kind of lose track of all space and time, and you get so focused on something you don't even realize how long you've been working on something. Forcing yourself to take breaks reduces the hyperfocus and perfectionism, and it also increases regular focus when you're having trouble with focus. So whether you use the Pomodoro method, which is a 5-minute break every 20 minutes, or if you simply create a playlist, and at the end of the playlist you take a break, or at the end of whatever intervals or whatever triggers they are, just make sure to take a break. And if you're ADHD, try to make them an active break. A lot of times our bodies just simply need to let go of all this excess energy and get it out so our brains can relax again. And exercise and movement is so important for that. Even if you don't have ADHD, just movement during a break helps so much. It calms your body, it refocuses you, it re-energizes you. Now, a few of the things I do like to do during my breaks, I love to do my wandering tidy during a break because I work from home. So a great break that's got high movement for me is to walk around the house and tidy things up for a few minutes. And then I'm constantly moving and I'm getting the energy out and I'm feeling productive, but it's more of a mindless task. So it's not the same thing that I've been working on the whole time. Now there's the link to the wandering tidy and how to do that if you're not sure. I also sometimes want to get out in the fresh air because being inside all day can be really stuffy. Even though the house is wonderful and it has lots of light, I do need some fresh air sometimes. There's something about outside that just gives you so much more energy and makes you feel more connected and alive. So I'll go check on my garden because I grow vegetables and I am trying to grow oranges. Not successfully yet, but I've finally gotten a little successful at vegetables, so I go out and check on those. I take the dogs out, I'll take them for a walk, or I just let them out to play, and I just soak in a couple minutes of vitamin D from our lovely sun, and it is a good refresher. And sometimes when I have a lot of the anxiety going on and the overwhelm, I just snuggle the dogs. There is something about pets and spending time with our pets that can reduce and release anxiety. So I snuggle up the pets really good. Sometimes I'll even get one of them to lay on my chest, which the weight on your chest is a very calming feeling. So pets are really good, especially dogs for people with ADHD. So taking breaks, that is my other main tip. Make sure to take your breaks. Even if you're just an office worker without ADHD and you're at the computer too long, or if you're a writer, take breaks that your neck and back don't get as much strain on them. We need to move these joints throughout the day to keep them from becoming major problems. I know I have suffered from neck and back problems in the past because of doing this all day and not moving enough. So do it for your health. Now, I would love to hear what works for you. Are there any calming techniques or focus techniques or ADHD or anything that you'd like to share that works for you that you could tell other people about to help them as well? Because we are all in this together. This is not exactly easy, and we all suffer from some of these things. So share what works for you in the comments. I would love to hear them as well. As I build the course, maybe some of your tips can make it into the course because maybe they're ones that I've not heard of before or have not thought of. So I would love to hear them. And remember, try new things all the time. What works now won't work forever a lot of the time, especially with ADHD. So check things out, see if they're still working, analyze what's working for you, and when it's not working anymore, try something different for a bit. You know your brain better than anybody. You know whether you need more focus, more stimulation, less stimulation, and adjust things accordingly. Also remember, everybody is different. No two ADHDs are the same. So what works for one person does not necessarily work for another. So never tell people what they should do, and never listen if they tell you what you should do, because that might work for them. But this is about you and what works for you. So discover it for yourself. Try different things, even if they might not be the norm. And focus on your superpowers. People with ADHD have some amazing gifts that not everybody has. I mean, seriously, hyperfocus. How many of the neurotypical people would love to be able to focus for hours on end without eating, without getting up, without even noticing the time pass? ADHD kind of rocks sometimes. So focus on the things that you can do super well, because it is a gift in many ways. And make sure to look at it that way instead of looking at the ways that the neurotypical brains work differently.